All right, so ready to dive into the world of making idiophone musical instruments. We've got all these resources from RoleCatcher, and we're going to help you nail that interview.
It's a really fascinating field,
Yeah.
blending artistry and precision.
It is. And you know, RoleCatcher, they describe the job like you're shaping, assembling, bringing to life instruments.
Yeah.
Like marimbas, xylophones, using wood, metal, even glass. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
So imagine you're in that interview, right? And they ask you, what inspired you to become an idiophone musical instruments maker?
It's such a great question because this is your moment to really let that passion shine through.
Yeah, it's not enough to just say, I love music.
Exactly. I mean, everybody loves music, right?
Yeah.
They want to see that spark, that connection that goes beyond a generic answer.
Yeah, so what about you? What drew you to idiophones? Like, was it a specific instrument, a musician, a sound? What was it?
Yeah, think back to that moment when you realized, this is it. This is what I want to do. And sharing a personal story is going to make your answer so much more memorable. And it shows you're not just there for a job, you're there for a passion.
And speaking of passion, RoleCatcher really stresses that hands-on experience is so important.
Absolutely.
So how can someone demonstrate that they're serious about the craft?
Well, have you worked with an established instrument maker, maybe? An apprenticeship or volunteered at a workshop?
Yeah.
Even if it's just tinkering in your garage, like it all shows that you're serious.
Like, I'm doing this because I love it.
Yes.
Right. So, okay, now they follow up with, what are some of the most important qualities for an idiophone musical instrument maker?
Go beyond the obvious, right? Like creativity and attention to detail.
Yeah.
They're important, but think about problem solving,
That's a good one.
What if they give you a tricky design challenge? How would you approach it?
Yeah, like, would you research historical techniques, experiment with different materials,
Exactly.
talk to other experts?
Yeah. And remember, you won't be working in a vacuum, right? You'll be collaborating with musicians,
Oh, that's right.
engineers, suppliers, So you got to highlight your communication skills.
Right.
Being able to listen, understand their needs.
It's a team effort.
Exactly.
Okay, so next question. This one really tests your knowledge. What are some of the most common materials used in idiophone musical instrument making?
I love this question because here you get to showcase that knowledge.
Yeah.
We're talking wood, metal, glass, ceramics, but go deeper. What are the specific properties of each?
Oh, okay.
How do they affect the sound?
Yeah.
Like, why is rosewood favored for marimba bars?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Now, RoleCatcher also mentioned that technology is changing things up.
It is.
So maybe you can mention some new materials or techniques you're excited about.
Absolutely. Things like 3D printed resonators.
Wow.
Composite materials.
Yeah.
And even the software that's used to design and analyze sounds.
So really embracing the future of the craft.
Absolutely. It shows that you're not just stuck in the past. You're looking ahead.
Right. And speaking of embracing the future, let's talk about how RoleCatcher's AI can give you an advantage during the interview process.
Oh, yeah. I mean, their platform is amazing. It analyzes job descriptions.
Okay.
It helps you tailor your answers to highlight those specific skills they're looking for.
So it's like having a coach, like a secret coach.
It really is.
In your ear.
Yeah. Whispering the right words.
So it's not just about giving good answers. It's about giving answers that are relevant to what they actually want to hear.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how does that work?
So let's say the next question is, what is your process for designing and creating an idiophone musical instrument?
Right.
You would put your answer into RoleCatcher, and their AI analyzes it.
Oh, okay.
It compares it to the job description, and it suggests tweaks or additions
I see.
to make it even stronger.
That's really smart.
Right.
So you're not just guessing.
Yeah.
You're really speaking their language.
Wow.
That's great. Okay, so back to the interview. Imagine they ask you to, walk them through your design process, step by step. What would you say?
So here you're taking them on a tour of your workshop, right?
Right.
Virtually, of course.
Right.
Talking about how you approach a new design, how you select materials, shape the instruments, tune them to perfection.
Really showing them that attention to detail? Do
Absolutely.
you have sketches?
Yeah.
Prototypes? Do you obsess over every little detail?
All of that, yeah. Let them see that passion.
Yeah.
And don't forget testing and adjustments.
Oh, yeah.
This shows that you're not satisfied with just good enough. You're striving for excellence.
Right. It shows you understand the importance of the fine-tuning and refining to really achieve that perfect sound.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's all about demonstrating that dedication to quality.
Mm.
But what happens, when a note goes flat, metaphorically speaking? What about those challenges that inevitably come up?
Yeah, they're going to happen.
Yeah.
And they might even ask you about it directly.
Right.
Like, can you describe a time when you faced a challenging problem in idiophone musical instrument making and how you overcame it?
That's a tough one.
It is, but everyone makes mistakes. It's how you learn and grow from them that really matters. So choose an example that shows your problem-solving skills.
Yeah.
So like maybe a design flaw that you had to fix, a difficult material to work with,
Yeah.
even a demanding client. It happens.
Oh, yeah. So, let's say you were building a marimba
Yeah.
and the resonators weren't amplifying the sound properly. How would you tackle that problem?
Right. So did you dive into like acoustics research?
Yeah.
Did you experiment with different shapes and sizes? Consult with, more experienced makers?
All good strategies.
Exactly. The key is to demonstrate your resourcefulness and your willingness to experiment. Think outside the box.
And, don't be afraid to show that you learned from that experience.
Yes.
Like maybe that challenge, it led to a new understanding of acoustics or a new technique or even a new way to collaborate with musicians.
Exactly. And speaking of continuous learning, RoleCatcher emphasizes how important it is to stay current.
Because things are constantly evolving.
This is something you can even bring up yourself if they don't ask.
Okay.
It shows them that you're not just passionate about the craft, but you're passionate about growth. You're keeping your skills sharp.
Yeah, so think about attending conferences, workshops, reading industry publications,
Yeah.
experimenting with new techniques. It all shows that you're a lifelong learner.
Exactly. And employers love that.
Right, so you're actively engaged in the field, you're a problem solver, you're passionate about learning. But how do you stay up to date?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a common interview question, right?
It is.
How do you stay up to date with the latest trends and advancements in idiophone musical instrument making? So what do you say to that?
You got to get specific. Are you a member of any professional organizations?
Oh, okay.
Like the Guild of American Luthiers? Do you subscribe to, industry magazines, online forums?
Right.
Those are all good things to mention.
Maybe you follow master craftsmen on social media or read articles. Yeah.
Exactly. And don't underestimate those online communities.
Yeah.
They're such incredible resources for sharing knowledge,
Yeah.
asking questions, connecting with other makers worldwide.
It's like having this global network of mentors and collaborators.
He really is.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and talk about teamwork. Because a lot of times they'll ask, can you describe a time when you had to work collaboratively with a musician or another professional to create an idiophone musical instrument?
Love this one. It's all about highlighting those teamwork skills.
Okay.
Showing that you can listen, communicate effectively, and find solutions that work for everyone.
Yeah.
So think of a specific example. Maybe you work with a percussionist to fine-tune the placement of resonators.
On a marimba, or collaborated with a wood supplier to source, ethically harvested timber for a xylophone.
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
And bonus points if you can share a story with, like a happy ending, a successful instrument, a satisfied client.
Absolutely. It paints that vivid picture of your ability to work in harmony with others.
Yeah.
Bringing together different perspectives and expertise to create something truly special.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it is a team effort.
It is.
Okay, so let's be real for a second. Every job has its challenges, right? So they might ask, what are some of the most common challenges faced by idiophone musical instrument makers, and how do you overcome them?
It's a good question because it makes you think.
It does.
So sourcing high-quality materials,
Right.
meeting deadlines, managing budgets,
Yeah.
dealing with those demanding clients, it happens.
It does happen, yeah.
These are all real-world challenges.
Yeah.
You're going to have to address them.
And RoleCatcher really emphasized being proactive and prepared. Yes.
So maybe you've developed those relationships with specialty suppliers, honed your time management skills,
Yeah.
learned to communicate effectively with clients.
Exactly. It's all about showing them that you're not just a skilled craftsperson, you're a problem solver.
You can handle it.
Exactly.
And finally, the question that gives you the chance to really shine, what do you think sets your work apart from other idiophone musical instrument makers?
Oh, this is your closing argument.
Yeah.
Your chance to make that lasting impression. What makes you unique?
Yeah, what's your secret sauce?
Exactly.
What is it? Is it your design,
Mm-hmm.
your craftsmanship,
Mm-hmm.
your ability to create, instruments with a unique voice?
Right.
Maybe you specialize in like sustainable materials or
Absolutely.
have a deep understanding of a particular, musical tradition.
Yeah, whatever it is, let that passion and personality shine through.
Yeah.
Leave them with a clear understanding of why you are the perfect person to bring their vision to life.
And that was a whirlwind tour of some common interview questions. But before we wrap up, I just wanted to circle back to how RoleCatcher can help you fine-tune those answers
Like that.
and, really stand out from the crowd.
Their AI platform, it analyzes job descriptions, or
Yeah.
provides personalized feedback.
So you're not just hoping for the best, you're using data to really up your chances.
Exactly. It's brilliant.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to go even deeper into RoleCatcher's career insights.
Yes.
And, how to weave those into your answers to really create a compelling story.
Absolutely.
So until then.
See you soon. Welcome back. So now we're going to tap into RoleCatcher's career guide for some insider advice on how to actually launch yourself into this field.
Because, you've got the passion, you're prepping for the interview, but how do you actually get started? Like, get your foot in the door.
Well, one thing that RoleCatcher really emphasizes is the hands-on aspect.
Yes.
It's not just about the theoretical knowledge. It's about actually getting your hands dirty, experiencing the materials, feeling that sound come to life.
Yeah, it makes sense. You're not building spreadsheets. You're building instruments that people will, pour their hearts into.
Exactly.
So what are some, practical steps people can take to gain that experience?
Well, RoleCatcher suggests finding an established instrument maker
Okay.
and seeing if you can shadow them, maybe an apprenticeship, even volunteering.
Yeah.
It's a chance to learn from the masters, absorb those techniques that have been passed down for generations.
All right. So it's like an immersive education,
Yeah.
going beyond textbooks and really into the heart of the craft.
Absolutely.
Right.
And don't overlook those workshops and classes.
Okay.
They're a fantastic way to learn new techniques,
Yeah.
explore different materials, and even, specialize in a particular type of instrument.
Right. So maybe you're drawn to the delicate beauty of a hammered dulcimer. Or the, the intricate metalwork of a gamelan.
Exactly. Workshops can open up those doors.
Yeah.
And help you kind of find your niche.
Yeah.
And even if you're starting from scratch, just experimenting in your free time shows initiative.
Right.
Build a simple kalimba, try different woods for a tongue drum, just get your hands working with those materials.
It's like saying, look, I'm so passionate about this, I'm doing it even when I don't have to.
Exactly.
That's great. And as you're gaining experience, RoleCatcher also recommends building a portfolio to showcase your work.
Right. Because how do you make your work stand out? Especially in a field that values both tradition and innovation.
That's a good question. Yeah.
It's a balance, right?
Yeah, and I think, a portfolio is a great way to visually answer that question. It's like curating a gallery of your craftsmanship, highlighting your skills, that unique spark that you bring.
I love that. So imagine, beautiful photos of your finished instruments.
Yeah.
Maybe even videos of them being played.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to show the process, too,
Yeah.
The shaping, the tuning, the passion in each detail.
Right. So you're giving them a glimpse into, your creative soul, not just what you make, but how you make it.
Exactly.
Okay. So what about actually getting your work out there in the real world?
Well, think about participating in, craft fairs or exhibitions.
Right.
It's a chance to connect with potential clients.
Yeah.
Get feedback from other makers, maybe even sell a few instruments.
Right. It's about getting your name out there, letting people actually experience those sounds you're creating.
Absolutely. And networking is key, right?
Yeah.
Especially in a specialized craft like this. So RoleCatcher recommends joining those professional organizations, attending industry events, connecting with other makers online.
Like in your tribe,
Yeah.
building that community.
Exactly.
So are there any specific organizations or events that, you think are particularly helpful?
Well, the Guild of American Luthiers is a good one.
Okay.
They have, a great annual convention, lots of workshops, demonstrations, networking opportunities.
That sounds like a great resource.
It is. And don't hesitate to reach out to, those established makers that you admire. A lot of them are really happy to share their knowledge and offer guidance.
It's like tapping into that lineage of, craftsmanship, learning from those who have walked the path before you.
Exactly. Now, as you progress in your career, RoleCatcher outlines some really exciting paths you could take. You could move into a supervisory or management role
Okay.
within a company, guiding other makers.
Yeah.
Or maybe you dream of opening your own workshop, building your own brand.
That's the entrepreneurial route.
It is, and it's a natural progression for a lot of skilled craftspeople. Offers incredible creativity and freedom.
It does. But no matter which direction you choose, RoleCatcher stresses that it's always important to keep learning,
Always.
evolving.
Yeah,
Because the world of musical instruments, I mean, it's constantly changing, right?
it is.
New materials, techniques, technologies. It's like a musical composition itself.
Oh, I love that analogy. It really is always evolving,
Yeah.
always searching for that perfect harmony.
So we've got this, foundation of career knowledge now. How can we weave those insights into those interview answers to make them even stronger?
That's a great question. So let's revisit that question about, your design and creation process.
Okay.
How could you showcase your commitment to continuous learning there?
Maybe mention a specific course you took
Yeah.
that introduced you to a new tuning technique or a conference where you discovered a new material. Show them that you're not just relying on what you already know, you're actively seeking out that new knowledge.
Right. And if they ask about, challenges you faced,
Yeah.
you could talk about a time when you had to adapt to like a new material or a client's unusual request.
Right. So it demonstrates those problem-solving skills, your flexibility
Yeah.
and willingness to step outside your comfort zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when they ask about what sets you apart, you can highlight, your commitment to sustainability,
Mm-hmm.
your use of innovative materials, your understanding of acoustics, all those things that we've been talking about.
Right. So it's about connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Showing them that you're not just a skilled craftsperson, you're a thoughtful, forward-thinking individual who's passionate about the future of the craft.
I love that. And remember, you're not just applying for a job. You're auditioning for a chance to, contribute to the world of music,
That's a good point.
to shape those sounds that will move and inspire people.
And RoleCatcher's resources are your guide, right?
Yes.
Helping you hit those high notes.
Absolutely.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to emphasize something RoleCatcher mentioned about, sharing your work with the world.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be shy.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah, building a website or online portfolio.
It's a great way to showcase your creations. Share your story.
Yeah.
Connect with clients.
It's like your virtual showroom, open 24/7, where people can experience the beauty and the craftsmanship.
Exactly. And social media can be a powerful tool, too. Share photos, videos
Yeah.
of your process, your inspirations, glimpses of your workspace.
It's about building a community around your craft.
Yeah, inviting people into your world.
It's like composing a symphony of passion, skill, and creativity and sharing it with the world.
Beautiful.
So in part 3, we're going to return to those interview questions,
Yes,
armed with all these insights
we are.
to help you craft those responses that really resonate.
Okay.
So until then.
See you soon.
All right, welcome back to the deep dive. We're in the final movement of our symphony of interview prep for you aspiring Idiophone musical instrument makers out there.
We've explored the questions, the career landscape, and even how RoleCatcher can give you that personalized edge with their AI.
It's pretty amazing. So now let's fine-tune those responses and make them really sing.
I like that. Make him sing.
Okay, so remember that first question, the one that sets the tone for the whole interview.
Yeah.
What inspired you to become an Idiophone musical instruments maker?
Right. It seems simple, but it's so powerful.
It is. It's your chance to make a strong first impression.
Absolutely. So think back to that initial spark.
Yeah.
What was it about Idiophones that really resonated with you?
Yeah, instead of just saying, I love music, share the why behind the love.
Exactly. So maybe you have a vivid childhood memory, like of your grandmother's antique music box.
Oh.
And that kind of sparked, your fascination with the mechanics of sound.
Right.
Or maybe you went to a concert and you saw a virtuoso playing, I don't know, the vibraphone, and you were just blown away
Yeah.
by the range of expression, the sounds.
Right. And, remember RoleCatcher's emphasis on hands-on experience.
Yes.
So you can tie that in, like maybe building a simple thumb piano as a teenager. Did that ignite your passion?
Exactly. Sharing those specific moments, those tangible experiences, it shows that you're not just, reciting a generic answer.
Be the real deal.
Yes. You're genuinely passionate about this.
Yeah. So, okay, let's tackle that question about the essential qualities of an instrument maker.
All Right.
Because it's easy to just list, like creativity, attention to detail.
Right. Those are important.
They are. But how do you bring them to life?
RoleCatcher's advice is spot on. Showcase those qualities through action.
Yeah, so remember that problem-solving scenario we talked about?
Yes.
Instead of saying you're good at it, tell a story that shows it.
Exactly.
So maybe you discovered a flaw in a design and you had to come up with a creative solution, right? Like on the spot.
Or maybe you experimented with different wood treatments.
Yeah.
To achieve a specific tone, going above and beyond to meet those demands.
Right, so you're showing them, not just telling them.
Yeah.
You can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget about collaboration.
Yeah.
Mention how you value feedback from musicians.
Yes. See them as partners.
Yeah.
In the creation.
So share a story about working with, a percussionist, fine-tuning the keyboard, or a composer who needed a certain sound. Like you're showing that you can listen, adapt.
Exactly. It's a collaborative art form.
And create something truly special.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk materials. They're going to want to hear you speak about, the different woods and metals and things
That's the element.
that make those unique sounds. But don't just rattle off a list.
Right.
Connect it to your passion.
Yeah.
So have you experimented with different resonators to get a certain sound? Do you have a favorite wood you like to use? Share those insights.
And don't be afraid to mention new technology, or materials, things that excite you.
Like 3D printing.
Yeah, or composites. Show them that you're engaged in the evolution of the craft.
Right. You're not afraid to push those boundaries. So when they ask about your design process, take them on that journey step by step. Let them see your approach.
Absolutely.
Do you do detailed sketches? Do you build prototypes? Tell them about that process.
Show them you're methodical.
Yeah.
Detail-oriented, you're committed to getting it right.
Yeah, and don't forget the testing, the adjustments.
Yeah.
Describe how you tune each note. Make sure it's durable.
Right, it shows dedication.
That it can withstand, all that playing. Okay, now they might ask about a challenging problem you faced.
It's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
This is your chance to really highlight your problem-solving skills.
Yeah, but it's not just about the problem itself.
Right.
It's about how you approached it. Those steps you took to overcome it.
Right, like what was your process?
Yeah. Did you dive into historical techniques for inspiration?
Right.
Did you consult with other makers?
Yeah.
Tap into that collective wisdom.
Yeah, break it down into smaller steps. Tell them about it.
It shows your thought process.
Yeah.
Your ability to think critically.
And it's okay to talk about mistakes.
Yes. What matters is what you learned.
Right. So maybe a design flaw led to a new technique.
Right.
A tuning problem, pushed you to try new materials.
Right.
Share those experiences. Show them that you're resilient. You can adapt.
That you're not afraid to step outside that comfort zone.
Exactly. Okay, so final question, the one where you really get to, set yourself apart. What makes your work unique? What is it that makes your instruments stand out?
Right.
Is it sustainability?
Maybe.
Using recycled materials. Do you specialize in a certain style or a particular tradition?
Yeah. Do you have amazing finishing techniques?
Let that individuality shine. Show them the passion, the dedication, the artistry. Let them see what makes your instruments special.
You're not just building instruments. You're crafting experiences. You're shaping sounds that are going to move and inspire people. It's an amazing thing to be a part of.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive. And you're armed with the knowledge, the insights, the confidence to really rock that interview. RoleCatcher's resources combined with your own experience.
Powerful combination.
It is.
Yeah.
You got everything you need to showcase your best self. So go into that interview, with enthusiasm.
Yeah, with passion.
And with the knowledge that you have something truly special to offer.
Absolutely. You're shaping the future of music.
And that's pretty amazing.
It is.